Hey guys, it's Callaghan here from KR Sabres. This is Q&A number 2. We'll get stuck in straight away because I don't want to make this 25-minute video like it was before. I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can and as quickly as I can without leaving up too much content. So let's get stuck in. Will Colin Stallman. Hey Cal, hope all is well. What is your hilt for a sabre as well as your favourite colour for a blade? Thanks a lot, have a great day. My hilt is the Frog Apprentice sabre. It's small, out the way, packed full of features. I'm good friends with Watchmaker Lab, so I was really happy to have that one. I've actually got number 2 out of the run that he did, and it's a green sabre, so it would be my favourite colour of blade. So that is my sabre and favourite colour for blade. Next question from Tom Jefferson says, hey mate, huge fan, super impressed with your work, and you might not be able to answer specifics without giving out company secrets. Hush hush. But for us fellow lathe owners, what's your secret to the perfect finish you achieve? Any recommendations on tooling, types of brands of cutters and speed? Thank you in advance. Types of brands of cutters, that there isn't like a specific brand that I use. The place where I bought my lathe from is called Amadil in the UK. They're just like unbranded cutters, nothing special about them. Speed is really important when you're sort of cutting and finishing. There's some really good tutorials online and on YouTube on what you should be doing with regard to getting the right finish. But one thing that I like to use if my finish isn't that great is emery cloth or emery paper. You can buy it in various different grits from 60 up to 240, and then I do my final finishing with about 320 grit because it gives a nice machine finish and it's sort of like finishing paper. You can get it from your local hardware store or something like that, or like B&Q something. Or Home Depot for you Americans. Next question is from Richie Castellano. It says, hey Cal, I think there's a real demand for a proper mace window hilt. As we all know, the MR was way too big and the Corband Parks was a bit too small and not exactly install friendly. Do you have any plans for releasing a mace window sabre, preferably one that could handle a 1-inch blade? I haven't got any plans for a mace window sabre. It's quite a complex design, a lot of pieces there, a lot of finishing. You've also got that type of patterned leather that goes around it. Not sure how I would achieve that because it's a very strange sort of design. And a lot of parts are anodized gold and the chrome plating. It's quite complicated. I mean, OR and I already have a selection of hilts that we're going to be releasing, in particular the clan hilts, which he's mostly well known for. You can see in the back, got some Kit Fistos there. They'll be released very soon, and I've got some other clan hilts to be coming out with me and him. So no mace windows planned anytime soon. The next question is from John Cooper. Hi Cal, I'm interested to know what it was that propelled KR Sabres from a hobby to a business, and what's your plan or future direction for KR Sabres? Thanks bud, keep up the great work and may the force be with you. I guess the future plan for KR Sabres is to try and grow the DIY community here within Europe and the UK. I already know that the lightsaber community is really big over in America and it's just ever growing with social media and all things like that. From a hobby to a business, it was literally, I wanted to, after I'd left my previous job, I was investment management. I worked for an investment management firm. I decided to do this full time just to see how it would go if I did dedicate all my time to something like this. I taught myself how to do like 3D modeling and various different things and did more research into products and product design. And yeah, it was pretty much, I said to myself, you know, if there's any time for me to take a risk of running the business full time, because the hobby part of it, I was doing jobs for people, I was taking commissions and everything like that, but it wasn't a full-time business for me. I guess the decision came when sort of I was getting so many requests. I said, okay, well, I could do this full time if I wanted to. And then I was doing it full time for like 2 months, and then the new Star Wars film came out, and then everything changed, everything flipped on its head. So that was pretty much how it managed to go from simple hobby over to. Question is from Ron Nico. Greets Cal, I have 2 questions. First, do you make in the near future Kylo Ren saber without electronics, but in the same look like in the movie? And when do you make another Luke Return of the Jedi saber? Is it then possible to make it with functional LED triangles? The third run of the Luke Return of the Jedi run hilts are in production now. They will have functional LED triangles. The Kylo Ren saber, haven't got any plans for doing that. It's a very complicated design. Derek Day of Phoenix Props done one, so check out Phoenix Props if you want to see the fully CNC machined aluminium hilt. And I also hear that Vader's Vault are going to be doing a run of Kylo Ren hilts. I think it might be limited, I'm not too sure. but I did see a post where someone asked if they were doing one, and they said they were doing one. So look out if you want one that's fully functional, ready to go. Wait and keep an eye out on Vader's Vault, and they should be releasing one, I'm guessing possibly this year or early next year. Robert Wilson says, "Hi Cal, hope you're having a good day. My questions are, what subjects did you take at school, and would you choose another career other than making custom sabers? Massive fan, I'm looking forward to your next builds." I guess if I wasn't involved in custom sabers, put custom sabers aside, I wouldn't be doing like engineering or anything, because I took an interest in engineering because of the custom sabers. So my background was always within finance. I did want to work in like accounting finance. It sounds so boring when I say it now. Subjects I took at school, whether GCSEs, was geography, PE, business and economics, and and German. I did German, yeah. God, I'm 22 now. That was like 6 years ago. So I did my GCSEs. A-levels, I did government and politics, business and economics, and IT. Next question is from Cole Thompson. What size of wire would you recommend for the Graflex 2.0 with a Nano Biscotti V3 crystal chamber chassis? I tried using the smallest I could find at work, but it's still a bit too big to fit everything in. I guess one of the most important things to think of, the range of wires that I see most people using within custom sabers is from 26 AWG all the way to 30 AWG. However, some of those higher AWG wires, like the 30 AWG, they can't take as many amps as the lower ones. So, for example, if I'm wiring up a battery or I'm wiring up an LED, because there's going to be high current passing through it, I'll use something like a 26 AWG wire, and then I might use the 30 AWG for doing the switches, for doing the speakers, accent LEDs, because there's only like 20 milliamps running through an accent LED on a Plector Labs board, for example. So just be sure that whatever wire you're using, you check the data sheet for it to see how many amps this wire can handle. Otherwise, you're going to fry your wires. Rapid Electronics is a good place to get a wire from if you're looking for it, or Pololu Electronics in the US. They ship quickly with FedEx over to the UK, so you can definitely check those guys out. Denzel Long, Cal, a few questions for your Q&A. What is the most rewarding aspect of building your sabers, and what is your least favourite part? So most rewarding aspect is hearing back from the customers of how much they enjoyed the saber that I made for them, or the product that they've bought from me. Getting that feedback and actually dealing with them and speaking to them about it is probably the most rewarding thing. My least favourite part, now I don't want to start any controversy or anything, but I think sometimes I see a bit too much drama. I don't like seeing the drama. I'm so busy all the time as it is, and if I ever get like a spare 5 minutes, I might jump on the Facebook pages and I might have a look at the forums. But sometimes I just look at my news feed and I see just bickering, and I just think to myself, come on guys, like we enjoy the hobby because it's fun, and you know, we're here because we like making lightsabers. Everyone's here for the same thing, you know, enjoy it. Just try not to get involved in drama. Even if you see drama starting, just no. Mike McDonald says, could you give me a tutorial on some basic chassis building? I have a hard time justifying $120 and up to buy something off Shapeways. Start with learning how to do 3D design. Go onto YouTube, type in SolidWorks tutorials, type in AutoCAD tutorials. Autodesk 123 Design is a free software that you can get and learn to do basic 3D modeling, and it's free, remember. If you've got the time to learn. If you don't, probably just pay the $120 and get it and be done with it. But yeah. Ian Austenfeld says, what's the blade socket like on the Ahsoka Rebels? Are you planning on making any more accurate parts of the Graflex sabers? So obviously I did the brass shims the other day. Make it rain. I would love to make a pommel which screws into the existing pommel and it has the Graflex stamp on it. But I'm trying to figure out how to get that stamp and how to make that stamp. The blade socket like on the Rebels is going to hold a 7/8" blade. You will be able to use 20mm LEDs. And we've got some blade plugs for them as well. Chris Rigby, where do you think the next big step in blade brightness will come from? LED tech getting better, or a whole new form of illumination? That's a good question. LED technology is obviously something that will grow at a faster pace, I believe, than actual diffusion technology. I have a funny feeling that one day these huge companies like Cree and stuff like that will actually focus on creating LEDs specific for lightsabers. That might be a bold statement to make, but surely Cree will be seeing a trend of their LEDs being used in every saber that's being made. They might just say to themselves, right, let's set up a little department within our product development team, and let's make LEDs for these guys, for this specific market. Maximum brightness, narrow spot lenses, and you know, they'd make a killing if they'd done that. If they had LEDs just for lightsabers, imagine. So maybe Creed, if you're watching, I doubt you are, but if you are, get on it. Raymond Jin, he says, back to the Ahsoka Rebels lightsabers, what were the reasons for the choice of dimensions for the main and shoto hilts? How screen accurate are they, and will they both accept CF? So crystal focus is what CF is, if you didn't know. The bigger hilt will be able to accept the CF, the smaller one, I'm not too sure. The choice of dimensions, One Replica's designed them primarily. He's done them off like the screenshots, so they should be screen accurate. As far as I'm aware, he's got the dimensions bang on. Next question is from Martin Sabers. Hi Cal, great idea on your Q&A. One question for now. Have you planned to produce and sell lightsaber standards? Difficult to find in Europe. I have contemplated getting like a laser cutter to do my own stands. I don't know if I have the space in the workshop to have a large laser cutter. However, if you need stands, you want to go to Dark Light Custom Stands on Facebook, or on Etsy, Dark Light Custom Sabers, or I think it's Dark Light Custom Sabers, or Victor Antonius on Facebook. Some of you might already know who he is. He makes the coolest stands. So if I was to get a stand, I'd be getting one from him, and he ships worldwide. So definitely go check his out. Michael Theoui. Hello Cal, I have two questions to ask. First one is, what's your opinion about the Clone Wars cartoons? And what's the most impressive cosplay you've ever seen? Most impressive cosplay I've ever seen was recently at Star Wars Celebration. The guy who won the cosplay championship was dressed as that bounty hunter from Star Wars The Force Awakens, you know, with little horns right here. He was like to scale, like 7 foot tall, massive, and he looked just like the real thing. So he was definitely the most impressive cosplay I've ever seen. Opinion about the clone cartoons? This is going to piss a lot of you off, but I've never watched them. Next question is from Taylor Hiley. How long does it roughly take you to make a full lightsaber from scratch or from all the parts? So it all depends on what the lightsaber is. Sometimes building one from scratch can take months, up to a year, maybe even more than a year. However, if there's someone who sent me an empty hilt and they just need me to put electronics in them, it could be like a matter of days before it's done. So yeah, thanks Taylor. Sal Musavi says, do you have any plans to make a KRS-5 hilt? Will any of your future standard hilts have a crystal reveal chamber? I think that's a good idea. Maybe have a standard hilt with a crystal reveal chamber. I have thought about it briefly, but I didn't really think many people would be focusing on it or wanting it, so I think I'll definitely look into that, yeah. Next question is from Abraham Ruiz. Will you make and sell a Luke Episode 8 blade plug in the future? Yes, it's in production now. They will be available soon. Robin Franklin says, hello Cal, I bought your 7/8 and V3 blade plugs and they're fantastic, but my question is, when do you plan to sell your 7/8 blades? So I know I've said a lot that I was going to be selling the blades. I am still going to be selling the blades. The main problem was getting my blade film in. The blade film that I got was 110 kilograms and it was loaded into my garage. My garage is sort of 30 meters that way and my workshop is far from there. I actually got it loaded on the other day at about midnight. Me and my dad decided to do it, don't know why, but we got it done anyway. So the blades will be coming soon. I've actually got 5 to make, so I'm going to make some. And I'm going to make some spares and I'll put them on the Etsy store. Next question is from Stephen Poloweski. When will the episode blade plug for the hero be available for itself? So I've sort of already answered that already, so in a few, very, very soon. Maybe within the next 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say. Next question is, hey buddy, from Jordan Eugene. Always been curious, what's your favourite Star Wars film? Empire Strikes Back, done. First 3, terrible dialogue. Still kind of cool to watch as a young person, but when I watched them back as I was older, I was just like, that's cringy. I mean, come on, Hayden Christensen, really mate, like, that was some terrible acting, terrible. My favourite game though was Rogue Leader. I used to have a GameCube and I had Rogue Leader on there, so that was a good game, I did enjoy that. Matthew Goodacre, how can I stop the vibration of my bass speaker setting off the swing sound on my Nano Biscotti version 3? Help me out, you're my only hope. If you're getting the vibrations, your speaker might be too close to your soundboard, so check the location of where your speaker is to your soundboard. Also, make sure that your speaker is in a proper holder, so it's holding the actual speaker properly and absorbing any vibrations. If it's tightly inserted into the hilt and it's a nice flush fit, it shouldn't be vibrating and rattling so much to set off the clash sensor. But if it is and you can't avoid it, try and put a bit of foam behind the speaker and that can absorb some of those vibrations. Glenn Maynard, I want to know exactly what Sal wants to know. I've answered what Sal wants to know, so there you go, Glenn. Justin Smith, what are the chances of getting a black on brass Grandflex blade plug? I'd just be worried about doing it because it might piss people off who's already bought the blade plugs, who wanted a black and brass one in the first place. So as long as people don't lynch me for releasing a third version, which is black and brass, I may consider it. Next question, Scott Hughes. Is there going to be a KR-OR Hero Run 3? Any plans to make a 1-inch blade holder for the Graphics 2.0 kits? There is a KR by OR Hero Run 3, it's in production now. Any plans to make a 1-inch blade holder for the Graphics 2.0 kits? No plans for that. Vader's Vault have a 1-inch blade holder already, so if you check out their website, vadersvault.com, you should be able to see if they've got the 1-inch blade holders available, and they sell the little switches for the side, so that would be good. So my camera ran out of battery, but got back all charged, ready to go again. Next question is from Kendall Walker. Kendall says, not Saber related, but who is your favourite light side and dark side user in the Star Wars movies? Light side, I always liked Qui-Gon Jinn. He was probably my favourite. Dark side user, Darth Maul. Gotta say Darth Maul. Next question from Jay Pritchard, all in capital letters, so he's pretty interested. When will you know if you have spare Return of the Jedi hilts? Any plans for your own V2 Return of the Jedi, and what kind of music do you like? Once I have the spare ones in a few weeks, then I'll put a post to say how many I've got left, but there will be spares, just not entirely sure the exact amount of how many there'll be. Any plans to do my own V2 Return of the Jedi? No, don't have any plans for that, I'm afraid. What kind of music do you like? I like all different types of music, different music for different things, all kinds. Next question is from Gary Lowe, says, afternoon sir, will you ever make a Graphics saber hilt? Haven't got any plans to make a Graphics saber hilt. There's plenty of people making them. You've got Corband making them, you've got Roman Props making them, you've got JQ Sabers making them. All of them are really high quality. So to be honest, I've got no plans on making them since there's people making them perfectly as it is. Cole Thompson, who's your favourite Jedi? Overall, okay, favourite Jedi overall, I'd have to say again, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. He was like one of my favourite characters. He was the character that stuck with me from the first time I saw the Phantom Menace. Jennifer Hart, Hinder, will you ever do a blaster run? I did do a 3D model of some blasters before. When I got my 3D printer, I started printing out some of the models on Thingiverse, and the blasters were really cool. But I never really looked into it any further because making the parts might seem a bit a bit alarming to UK customs if I was to import them into the UK, you know, the sort of blaster shapes, gun shapes. So I never ever really looked into it further than that, but plenty of projects to do anyway. So Peter Machin says, why not do a like and share page to win one of these beauties? I have done like and shares before. The page has grown so much that now I'm actually going to focus on doing a competition for the 10,000 likes. So I'm at about 9,000 odd right now. So it's grown so quickly, so I think I'll definitely do something for when we get to 10,000. Rory Jack Taylor says, who is your favourite Star Wars character and why? Once again, it's Qui-Gon Jinn. Miklos Todd says, hello Cal, what happened to the R2-D2 hilt? It's a good question actually, I still have it. I'm setting up my powder coating room over there, and once I set up my powder coating room, I'm going to powder coat it white again because I messed up some of the paint before. Before I used to have a guy do my powder coating for me, but he charges quite a lot as a minimum charge. So I didn't powder coat it again because I didn't want to waste my money until I had my own powder coating room. Tree Sask says, will you ever do an Obi-Wan episode 1? Are you a fan of the design? I am a fan of the design, it is a nice design. Haven't got any plans to do one. I think Corband has got a Obi-Wan Kenobi run coming out soon. Also there's the Orbital Machining run, which I'm actually on. I'm really excited to see what that's like because he makes really high quality machine parts and hilts. I haven't got any plans to make my own. That one is not on there at the moment. Next question from Peter Crown. What is your opinion on LED string blades? Have you ever made one? I've never made an LED string blade. I know how they're made, I've seen how they're made, but I've never actually got my hands on the CFLS. But I'm finishing off that Obi-Wan, Roman's FX Obi-Wan A New Hope saber for Watchmaker Lamb. That is going to have a CFLS, so that is going to be where I make my first string blade. Ben A. Cock says, please put the Ahsoka lightsabers on a giveaway, please. Maybe, who knows. Next question is from Bastian CRG or Bastian Craig. When will you have blades for sale? ASAP I'll get the blades for sale as soon as I can, literally, is one of my priorities. Chris Lone Walker says, from across the pond, New York, USA, what was your most difficult install and why? And this is the last question. Most difficult install that I had to do was probably the Corband Mace Windu hilt, so the Parks, I think he calls it a room hill, simply because the inner diameter of those things is 3/4 of an inch. It was so tight and compact, it was very difficult. That was probably the most difficult install, simply because the space inside it was so tiny. It was literally so small. So many questions answered there. I didn't end up making this video long, even though I tried not to. But yeah, guys, that was the second Q&A. What I'm going to try and do is maybe do one Q&A a month. I want to maybe try and start doing vlogs for you guys, maybe weekly vlogs to show what I'm up to. If you guys want to see something like that, let me know. And I'll have a new workshop tour soon. It's pretty, let me just turn around and show you guys. So, we've got, just Fisto hilts there that I'm assembling at the moment. Some finished Graflex hilts. O-rings that I got to put on all of these myself. I mean, the time now is about, what's the time here? It's like 10 o'clock. So I've got my workbench there. You see I've got R2, not R2, what am I talking about? I've got BB-8 over there, and then I've got cutting saw. I got my lathe in yesterday. That was good that I got my lathe in there. And God, this is turning into a workshop tour, even though I didn't want it to be. And then I've got the powder coating room is in that room there. So, and then I've got my fan because it's been really hot in England recently. And then, oh, this stuff's good. You guys should get some of this stuff. I usually use isopropyl alcohol for cleaning the circuit boards, because when you use flux, it sort of leaves a residue. But I found this spray, this fast drying contact spray, and that is really good for cleaning your circuit board when you're done with it, because you should always clean your flux after. That was the blade film roll that I had to get in right under there. That was what was so difficult to get in. It's 110 kilograms, and it took absolutely forever to get it in here. So heavy, but that is now on the roller. That concludes this video. I will probably do another Q&A once a month, something like that. But thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.